Welcome back.
Welcome to the TAE Time Podcast.
I love the way you say that every time, like with a Texas accent.
Texas accent. We out here in Southern Texas. That's a terrible Texas accent. Accent. I'm actually pretty good at doing the Texas accent.
Really?
Here and there
Give us, come on.
No,
I want to hear it. I want to hear
it.
it. No, I want to hear it.
I'm from Texas. That was actually terrible.
Please rate that.
I'm actually cutting that out.
You're not cutting that out. It's in. People need to see raw you.
I'm from Tex. What are you saying from down south?
So people always
Every
say
Texas person that's gonna hear that is fucking gonna be so mad.
But do this. We now have a Texas demographic listening, tuning.
Yeah, they're gonna be commenting. It's gonna be controversial. Like, how dare he say that this is a Texas accent? How dare he? You know what? This is inconsiderate and derogatory.
Yeah.
Derogatory.
Exactly. But sure, people always say you sound like you're a Toronto man and you're not even trying, so.
What do you mean, shorty? You're creasing me a light?
It's when you try that it's bad.
You know,
when
so,
you speak normally.
When I speak normally, they're
fine.
like, yeah, you're from Toronto, innit? I'm like, no, I'm from Toronto.
Some random schmuck in Dublin.
When I say Toronto. Is that the right way to say Toronto? Yeah.
It's not Toronto.
Toronto. But yeah, no, we're out here. We're back for some more Reddit stories. You guys are out here constantly loving these things on like shorts, reels, everything, TikToks, you know? So we try to get you some good stories, but I know it's hard. Also, fuck you. Listen here, okay? All you motherfuckers that say, you guys are copying XYZ, all saying all these random bullshit, go fuck yourself. I'll let you know right now. I have had Reddit karma since I was freaking a child. I've been on Reddit fucking reading stories, and I introduced Nicoletta to Reddit. If you watch the podcast, you'd already know this is true.
Yeah.
And time ago, like I got her into Reddit, and we'd like send each other stories and like talk about it. So like when we were doing the podcast, it obviously made sense that some episodes we do Reddit stories because it's something we were doing anyway.
Legit, that was what our day-to-day kind of looked like, sending each other stories and just like talking about it.
So all of you that's like, oh, it's like this, go screw yourself. Yo, motherfuckers didn't even know what Reddit was until TikTok put you on it.
That's the thing.
While you guys were in diapers, I was reading Reddit stories. Deep that.
That means, oh my God, it means you're old.
Yeah, I am.
Take it back right now.
I'm pretty sure I've been on Reddit since the second year Reddit existed. You know, like, that's how long I've been on it. I remember Reddit when it was like ugliest sin. That's how.
No, but I'm not surprised because like, he's a nerd. Do you know what I mean? This was the demographic. Nerd. This is who was using it back in the day.
I'm a big fat
It wasn't your regular schmucks. It wasn't your
it wasn't regular schmucks. It was the incels online. Yeah. Not that I'm one.
Oh, you okay? No, it's all right. You just said that.
Lol. But yeah, no, you know, all the big fat schmucks. I'm a big fat burger. Burger.
But anyway, like he did say, today we are reading some Reddit stories. And you might have noticed, if you follow us on the socials, that we started a new little segment.
Tea Time with TAE Time. Coined by me.
Yeah.
She wanted to call it something.
You're good. No. I like it's story of the day.
Yeah, yes.
But I'm still using both tags.
Tea Time with TAE Time. Shout out.
No, it's cute. The only thing is I always misspell it when I'm typing out the tag. And I'm like, oh.
Tea Time with TAE Time. It just rolls off the tongue with the homies.
It actually does. But without further ado, let's get started into the first story. Am I the asshole for thinking it's fair that I get a larger portion of food than my sister? My sister and I recently had an argument that got very heated about whether or not I deserve a larger serving size when we have dinner. We were both having salmon and she put hers in the oven before I did. When I put mine in, I noticed that the pieces were quite small. However, she said that she was entitled to half of it since it wouldn't be fair that we have different amounts if we are both hungry. For reference, I'm around 6'1" and she's around 5'4". I try to explain that we have different dietary requirements because I'm bigger and that the degree to which I would be hungry would be greater than the degree to which she would be hungry if we had the same portion size. Though she insists that it's only fair that she shouldn't have to sacrifice her half for me. Though I think I'm sacrificing by letting her have half in my place in the first place. This, I think, is what he meant. She says that I should supplement my food with something else if I need more food, but I don't see why I can't say the same thing to her. We both basically think each other is being selfish, and it doesn't really seem like we can resolve this disagreement.
The absolute entitlement of that story. It's like, yo, actually, I'm bigger than you. So you know what? Give me half your food. Give me, yeah, you see that? That looks nice. I got half of that. That's mine. Like, the fuck? And also, once again, just because you're a bigger person doesn't mean your stomach is bigger. Like, stomachs don't increase in size with you being increased in size, I don't believe. Like, you can fact check me on that. But, like, and even if it did, it's not going to be a great degree. So, no, yes, you're hungrier, but, like, yeah, supplement your food with something else. It's like, why are you taking out? It's like, you're smaller than me, so clearly you don't need that much food.
Yeah,
You know?
no, it's not fair.
It's like, could you imagine? It's like we're both stranded in like the desert, right? And there's like a water bottle, a liter of water, and I'm like, yeah, you can have 250 meals, and I have 750 meals because I'm a bigger person. Like, literally, yeah, thank you, appreciate it.
It's the same energy, isn't it?
You know,
it's the
like,
same energy.
Just die of thirst.
So here's the thing. I kind of understand that, like, you know, like you require more food than I do, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is, if there's a little amount, it's not fair for you to be like, I deserve more. It's not sufficient for either of us.
Exactly. Like, it's
so
dumb. Like, that L sister trying to take half her food. Imagine. I'd actually be vexed if someone was like, yeah, just give me half your food. I'm like,
I'm bigger than you, so I deserve half your food.
Kill me on the spot, because that's the only way you're getting this food. Kill me on the spot.
I don't know. It's just really unfair.
Yeah. Dumb sister, L sister.
L sister, indeed. Here's the next story. Am I the asshole for missing my daughter's birth? Already, yes. I'm just kidding.
Saucy.
He might have a good reason. Okay?
There's never a good reason unless you're stuck in a pit that you can't climb out of.
He might be. Here we go. For a little background information, I have a beautiful wife. We've been trying for a baby for about 3 years now, and we have known each other since we were in high school. When my wife found out she was pregnant, we were thrilled and have been getting prepared for months now. My dad is a real a-hole, but he keeps me employed. He owns a pretty nice Italian restaurant that has been run by my family for decades. I've worked there since I was about 15, and I am now head chef. The problem is, he treats his employees pretty bad, including myself, and if you even miss one shift, you get demoted or even worse, fired. I was in the middle of a very hectic shift on the busiest day of the week when my mother-in-law called saying my wife went into labor and I needed to get to the hospital right away. When I asked my dad if I could go, he said, "You can go if you're okay with being unemployed," which I couldn't risk because after the baby was born, my wife would be off work for quite a while to be a stay-at-home mom. The reason my dad was so mad at the idea of me leaving was because he was understaffed and really needed my help. When I tried to call my mother-in-law, she wouldn't pick up, so I just kept working, that I thought I could explain myself later. Later, when it was time to go home, I drove to the hospital, but my mother-in-law and her sisters refused to let me in the room and called me names like a bad father and a bad husband.
Wow. Nah, that story is mental. That story is raw. That story is mental. To be honest, I can't blame the guy from the point of view he was coming from. Because he was like, yo, I'm bringing this baby into the world and I really don't want my wife to be like stuck with trying to make money after my baby just come, and like we don't have the financial support the baby. It all makes sense. The father is the real problem in this story. Like, imagine your own son, like even forget it's your own son. Someone's like, yo, my wife is giving birth. Can I please just go? I know we're busy, but like this happens once in a lifetime. Busyness is always there. And then it's like, no, you're going to be fired. And then he's like, well, I have a baby on the way, so I can't get fired. So
I don't know. Because to me, it's like he sounds like he's been putting himself up with this, like, you know, toxic kind of environment with his dad.
Absolutely.
And I feel like just allowing him to constantly like decide what he does with his life by like not letting him take part in his, like, you know, life events like the child of his birth. It's like, you as a man, why are you still allowing that to be treated like that?
I do understand, but oh my god, I feel like this is so sticky. Because like, yeah, he should have like risked it, but at the same time, if he did get fired, like, we don't know how easy it would be for him to find another job, how long he'd be unemployed for.
Yeah.
Like, all those things come into play when he's thinking about that child. And it's just, oh my, I think the problem here, like, I fully understand why the mother and the sister would be mad. Absolutely agree, right? Because you missed the birth of your child, okay?
Yeah.
Like, it's deep. But at the same time, I can't fault him because he's like, I need the money for my kid.
But here's the thing, because let's be real here. If this was some like random stranger and you're working for them, I would somehow understand it a little bit more than it being your own dad, because at the end of the day, you could be like, yeah, well, good luck never seeing your grandchild again, and then walk out. You know, like, this is like family stuff. You can talk things through. I don't know.
I genuinely think he doesn't, because he sounds like a scumbag. Because imagine, like, I go to my dad, hey, yo, pops, my wife's about to pop a child, let me go.
Yeah.
You know, they'd be like, yeah, of course, go. But no, it's literally like, I don't care. And that means they don't give a shit about the grandchild. They give a shit more about...
I don't believe it.
Oh,
I don't believe
such a crazy story.
I don't believe it.
This is for you guys to decide. Like, what do you think? Do you think, like, everyone sucks here? Like, the father and the guy? Or do you think it's just the guy? Or do you think it's just the dad? Like, because I think this is very polarizing.
Yeah.
Story
Okay,
right
so
now.
then obviously, question for you, right? Your dad owns a hardware shop. You're working there. Your wife, whatever, go into labor, and your dad's like, you can't go, you need to work, we're understaffed. What do you do?
That's what I'm saying. I think I'd be so split, because the way he thought was literally the same way I would instantly think of, like, if I go now, there is a chance I will be broke for a while and I can't support my wife and my new child. And I think that would kill me more than missing the birth of my child, because it's like, but the thing is, like, maybe because in Ireland there's good support systems and stuff, that maybe I think I'd be willing to risk losing the job and then hope that in the months as I'm raising the kid that I'll get the opportunity to, like, support my family eventually. So I think I could risk it, but like, this is probably in America, right?
Potentially.
There's no support. Like, how long? Think about it. It's such a big risk.
There's a lot. I don't know. There's a lot to it. But one way I'm like, okay, but like, I'm giving birth. This is like happens like maybe like once, twice, whatever. It's a very important, special moment that I would like to have my partner with me. And he's like, I can't, I'm working, and I'll explain myself later. Like, no, what? No.
Yeah, absolutely. I can understand it from the woman's point of view, but at the same time, I think you have to remember, is looking from the guy's point of view of, like, he wants to provide for his family, and if he loses his job, he can't do that.
But would you not? Okay, but if you were to stay, right, and you're like, oh, I'll explain myself later, would you not just hate your dad's guts? Because
absolutely,
yeah,
I would. From that point on, I would never be on good terms with, like,
okay,
they're dead to me.
Would you look for a different job?
Absolutely, straight away. I would be looking for a new job. I would, and that parent would be dead to me.
Yeah,
like, absolutely. Like,
okay.
There's no two ways about it. Like,
so then it is worth leaving the job if your relationship is already going to be like strained.
Yeah. For me, the problem isn't leaving the job. The problem is, like, how fast can I get another job? Because, like, the last thing I want is for you to be working right after you gave birth just because we don't have any money coming into the house. Yeah. No, I get it. And it's a very mature way of thinking. But when I'm out here, like, sweating, crying, like, trying to push out this baby, and I'm like, pooing everywhere.
I'm like, not for being in the hardware store selling, I don't know, whatever. Like, just be here, man. I need you here. But obviously, you guys decide. What do you think?
What do you think?
What do you think? On to the next story. Okay. Am I the asshole for telling family that my sister-in-law doesn't want any more guests and inviting them to my house instead? I don't know why he worded that like that. It already sounds bad for him. Like, what have you done? Okay. My husband and I, men in our late 20s, recently had a baby. My husband's sister and her husband also did. There was some slight tension at the beginning of both of these pregnancies. Our family knew about our journey with surrogacy. Obviously, everything is planned in advance, so they knew when the pregnancy would begin. When my sister-in-law and brother-in-law announced their own pregnancy about 2 weeks after we celebrated our successful embryo transfer, we were a little annoyed. We kept this annoyance to ourselves in order to not rock the boat, and we knew it was irrational. Now that our children have been born, we're having two different experiences. It feels like all my sister-in-law does is complain, especially about the barrage of guests that have come to visit them now that they're home from the hospital. I understand that she's recovering, but these guests aren't requesting extravagant home-cooked meals or 10 out of 10 hosting skills. They're coming over to spend time with the baby. In my experience, our guests have offered to do things for us in order to make life a little easier. They see some dirty dishes in the sink and they'll load the dishwasher for us. They'll take out the trash, etc. Even if they didn't do this, I still love spending time with my husband's family. But for context, these are not overbearing, hard guests. At a little family gathering this weekend, I overheard that my husband's aunt and uncle were interested in dropping by their house for another visit soon. I saw the look on my sister-in-law's face, so I jumped in and said that she is starting to feel a little overwhelmed with the visits, but that my husband and I would love to host them again. They agreed, hugged us for our generosity in opening our home to them, and moved on. My sister-in-law later pulled me aside and gave me an earful about how that wasn't my place to step in and that I made her look bad.
Absolutely. Raw. The way I covered my mouth when I heard that statement is mad. Though.
It was going well.
That statement is mad. Because it wasn't just like, oh, it wasn't a situation of like, oh, they're busy, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, she hates all of you.
Yeah.
You're disturbing her, but you know what? I'm a good person. Come to me. Wow. Wow.
No, the disrespect of the story is so high.
That was disrespectful.
Yeah.
I don't think you could see any way but disrespectful. Yeah. Like, those are fighting words. Yeah. Once again, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, put on your gloves. We're fighting. We're fighting, right? Come outside, we're fighting. Like, you're making me look like a damn fool in front of all these people.
Yeah.
Let them handle it. It's not your place to jump in.
I think it's a little bit of jealousy.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, like, you could see the jealousy was there from the get. It's like, oh yeah, we were surrogacy, and then they announced one.
We're like, treated different.
It's like, my guy, anyone can get pregnant. You guys could literally get pregnant on the same fucking day. Like,
yeah, chances are.
You know, like, it's never that deep. It's not like, it's a different thing from like, oh, I just got proposed to, and then literally the next day they proposed.
Yeah, you know, yeah. That could still happen though.
Yeah, obviously, or like at my wedding they proposed.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. Like, they're trying to upstage you. No.
Yeah.
They're not doing that. They just got pregnant.
Do you feel like the reaction from the people who were like hugging them and like being so thankful, that was a bit weird, no? I know they sensed that kind of like bitterness. So why did they just?
They just wanted to double down. To be honest, me, I like problems too. I like problems, so I would do the same thing. Just to, I'm an instigator.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh my god, thank you, Nicoletta, for that offer. Thank you.
You're so problematic. I can't. But like, here's the thing in this story as well. I'm just gonna have to say it. Like, their experience is different no matter how much he tries to make it sound it isn't. Like, giving birth and going through all that is really exhausting, and then having people over right after pregnancy and stuff is a lot more different after you just gave birth than just being handed a baby and it was like, here's your baby.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like there's just a lot more to it, and like, she's probably wrecked all the time, so of course people are a lot more likely to go over and like help her out, because they're like, you've been through a lot, you're recovering right now and have to deal with the kid, whereas they're just dealing with the kid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a sticky one still, but I do believe that it's an L.
It's a big L.
It's a big L. That is disrespectful.
Yeah. They strained the relationship for what?
Yeah.
Just to be petty.
You know, my favorite people in that are the people who say thank you. Instigators. That's class A instigation. They instigated perfectly. They knew what they were doing. They were like, nah, these niggas are gonna fight now.
No, but that's so bad. That is so bad. On to the next story. Okay. Am I the asshole for refusing to split rent with my boyfriend? Wait. Before we start, right? Do you think she's an asshole already?
Like, if she's giving some bullshit reason of like, he makes more money than me, so why the fuck am I splitting rent? No one. You're not entitled to anything.
Okay.
You're not entitled to anything.
Okay.
But if it's like, oh, it's his place, and she doesn't live there, but she comes there often enough, and he's asking for rent, make it make sense. She doesn't live with you.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
But yeah, so those are my hypotheses right now.
Okay, so hear this out, right? I, 23, female, have been dating my boyfriend Jake since our freshman year of college. In our last year of undergrad, we decided to rent an apartment together. We split everything 50-50, including utilities, groceries, and rent. We continued living together in the same town as our college after graduation, but recently, we both got jobs in Chicago and we were currently living downtown. My dad works in real estate, and he has multiple investment properties. My dad generously allowed me to live in one of his properties rent-free, but he said that my boyfriend would have to pay him $400 a month for rent. My dad is very protective, but he has been nothing but kind to my boyfriend. My dad's reasoning for making my boyfriend pay rent is that he wants to be sure that my boyfriend is with me for me, and not because he will have a free place to live. Keep in mind, if my dad was renting this apartment out to tenants, he would charge $2,100 a month for rent. Very ritzy building in the middle of downtown Chicago. My boyfriend is mad at me because he asked me for my half of the $400 for rent, and I explained to him that I will not be paying rent. My dad is only charging him. He says that we have been splitting rent for the past 2 years, so why would we stop now? Our rent in college town was $1,200, so we were both paying $600 a month. Our apartment in Chicago is significantly nicer, and he's paying $200 less a month than when he was in college. Is the idea that my dad doesn't charge me for rent, but charges my boyfriend so crazy? Should I suck it up and pay half because I can't afford it?
Nah, I actually rate the dad for that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You know, at first I thought I wasn't going to, but then the more I deeped it, as you were saying the story, I was like, no, it makes sense because it's like deep it the other way around, right? Like guys love to complain about gold diggers, right, and all that stuff, and like if you make a gold digger quote unquote pay for stuff, like it will show their true personality, right? And the dad is like, yo, I don't want him to use you for like the fact that I have money or whatever, you know, and have a free place to stay, and like he could be out here sleeping with other hoes, but paying but using you so he can have a free accommodation. But he's like, I want to see that he wants to be with you for you, and he just pays rent, and that's fine. And also, $400 in comparison to what he was already paying is already lower. And also in comparison to the price of the place they're staying, it's a fucking bargain.
Oh,
like,
100%.
why are you comparing yourself to the daughter of the person who owns that place? It's like,
it's kind of her home.
It's like, take for example, let's say they weren't dating,
yeah,
right? And she was living in that apartment. Her dad gave it to her. She's going rent free, but then she decides to rent out a room, you know, to take a little bit of money,
a bit of cash,
bit of cash, and then he comes in, and then he's like, "Wait, you're not paying for this apartment? You're not paying for this apartment? Why the fuck would I pay for this apartment?"
But in a way, I see it as like, I'm in my home and now I'm deciding to rent out a room, and they're like, why aren't you the landlord paying rent? Like, what are you talking about?
It's my house. Like, are you dumb? You know? And like, I think it's actually a pretty smart move, and it's showing your man's true colors, because he's like, why is he upset? Like, he's like it should. For me, I feel like if we were in that scenario and you said that, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense, you know? And then eventually, like, give it a year or something, like consistency, like you don't complain or whatever, that would be like, yeah,
he probably stopped charging you altogether.
Like, I can see that you actually care about her and you're not just using her for a free place to stay, because let's be honest, they've only known each other for 2 years. 2 years, yes, okay, whatever, but it's not enough to know if this guy really likes your daughter like that.
They're still very young, you know, as well,
and they're young, so he's like, yeah, let me not just give you handouts just because you're dealing with my daughter. Let me see that you actually care about my daughter first, you know? Because obviously, like, he hasn't proved to the dad in the 2 years that he really cares about the daughter like that. Like, maybe the dad's like, oh yeah, they like each other, but he's iffy about it. And this is that, be like, yo, let's see. You know?
No, I agree, and I like the way that you think about it, because it's like, I suppose you're kind of seeing it like, oh, if it was my daughter, it's a perfect way to test it, but it's also so like, it's a bargain for him, so you're doing him a favor regardless.
Yeah. Like, take for example, forget about she's involved.
Yeah.
And he was moving to Chicago.
Yeah.
And that is like, yo, I have a place there. It's like 2,000 something, but for you, I'll do it for 400. You wouldn't complain then.
No.
So why are you complaining now?
Because, she's not paying. But okay, so like say, you move into a place and, your girlfriend, she's not being charged rent because it's her dad's property, but he's charging you, a certain amount, say like $400, say $600, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Would there be a little bit of bitterness on your side?
No, because like, why? It's not my place, Like, I can't complain. Like, they're charging me, but they're still doing me a favor.
Yeah.
As far as I see it, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if they were charging me the full price, that would be a little bit like, I do it, but I'm like, I wish I could get a little discount. But,
yeah, come on.
What's
the
a
point?
small discount. But like, yeah, no, I think I'd still be fine with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really problematic if, you were charged full rent, like the 2,100.
Oh, yeah, fuck. I feel really bad. Like,
but would you pay up? He feels like, I couldn't afford it probably.
Yeah, no, that 2,000 something a month is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I don't even pay 2,000 something for this place. The fuck do you mean?
Yeah, no. It's like, I'm trying to see where he's coming from. I'm really trying because I feel like there's like a slight bit of bitterness there.
I can see where he's coming from in the sense of like, okay, he's like, I really, like, it's like, oh, you're my partner. Why am I being held to this, right? Blah, blah, blah. But I think he's not looking at it from the father's perspective. I think he needs to remove himself from his girlfriend and look at it more from the dad's side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
he's like, oh, my partner doesn't want to split with me after we've been splitting for all these years. No, that's not what it is. Look at it from the father's angle, because it's the father that's doing this, not the daughter. Like it, and you can't be saying, oh, because your dad's doing this to me, you carry half the burden.
Do you know? Yeah, in a way, at the end where she was like, oh, well, I just suck it up and do it, kind of sounds like she's done something like this before. Like, she's definitely done things that he wanted that maybe she was like, I'll just do it because he's my boyfriend.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's interesting. Anyway, I would definitely say, like, he needs to reevaluate the way he's thinking about it.
And what's, like, important to him? Is his relationship with her dad important or not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for deleting my friends' wedding photos in front of them? I'm not really a photographer. I'm a dog groomer. I take lots of photos of dogs all day to put on my Facebook and Instagram. It's my thing, if that makes sense. I cut and photo with every appointment. I don't even know what he means by that.
Yeah, like he does he grooms a dog and then takes a photo of the dog.
Oh, a cut and photo. I get it. I was like, what's he saying? Fair enough. I very seldom shoot things other than dogs, even if I have a nice setup. A friend got married a few days ago and wanted to save money, asked if I'd shoot it for them. I told him it's not really my forte, but he convinced me by saying he didn't care if they were perfect. They're on a shoestring budget, and I'd agreed to shoot it for $250, which is nothing for a 10-hour event. On the day of, I'm driving around following the bride as she goes from appointment to appointment before the ceremony, taking photos along the way. I shoot the ceremony itself, and during the reception, I'm shooting speeches and people mingling. I started around 11 a.m. and was due to finish around 7:30 p.m. Around 5 p.m., food is being served, and I was told I cannot stop to eat because I need to be a photographer. In fact, they didn't save me a spot at any table. I'm getting tired and at this point kind of regretting doing this for next to nothing. It's also unbelievably hot. The venue is in an old Veterans Legion and it's like 110 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's no AC. I told the groom I need to take off for 20 minutes to get something to eat and drink. There's no open bar or anything. I can't even get water, and my 2 water bottles are long empty. He tells me I need to either be a photographer or leave without pay. With the heat, being generally annoyed at the circumstances, I asked if he was sure, and he said yes. So I deleted all the photos I took in front of him and took off, saying I'm not his photographer anymore. If I was to be paid $250, honestly at this point, I would have paid $250 just for a glass of cold water and somewhere to sit for 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a dickhead of a friend.
Yeah.
Imagine they do all that for you, do it at a crazy discount, and you don't even give them a break to eat and drink water. That is such a scumbag move. What a scumbag. It's like, oh, just leave without pay then. It's like, all right, delete.
But he asked, are you sure? He confirmed.
He confirms, are you sure about this? You really want the smoke? You really want the smoke? And it's like, yeah, I say less. Delete. Bye-bye. Can you imagine? He did hours of work and just deleted it. And he's not even getting paid.
Oh my God.
That's how upsetting it was.
But it is upsetting because,
Absolutely.
like, thinking about it, if I have to start working way early in the morning and now it's evening and I haven't even gotten the chance to eat or anything, and that's the thing
at your
about
friend's wedding.
Literally, that's the thing about weddings too. Like, I feel like, you know, sometimes like the grooms and the like bride, they get so like, oh, this needs to be perfect, that they forget to consider other people are doing stuff for them
and stuff. And also, like, even, why do you need photos when people are eating? The fuck?
Come on.
Like, no one looks pretty when they're eating. Let me eat in peace. I want to be stuffing my face with jollof rice and chicken without you fucking taking photos of me.
Camera in your face,
you know?
like,
dickhead, fuck out of here.
And also, I think, like, at weddings, every single wedding, they should be mandatory for, like, you know, the band or, like, you know, photographer or whatever, to be saved some food.
Yeah, no, usually what they do is, like, the band or whatever will eat before and after, and the photographers will eat before and after, you know, and stuff like that. As in, like, you know, and then when everyone's eating, you don't need to take photos when everyone's eating because they're eating, and let them eat too.
And,
you know?
like, okay, I would understand if they're like, well, I'm already paying enough, why should I provide food? But the least you can do is give them the time to eat.
Yeah.
If they brought their own food, if they want to go get food, just give them that, like, time. It's not fair.
Simple as this story: L friend, L husband, L wife, your marriage is in shambles already.
Oh, because you know damn well, oh, this is so problematic because, like, this is their only photos from their wedding, and to have nothing, I don't know about that, chief.
Absolutely.
I don't know about that. Am I the asshole for being angry at my roommate for moving all my stuff out of my room? I share an apartment with a girl. I am subleasing my room for the next 2 months due to a variety of circumstances I won't be getting into now. And part of the agreement is that my room would be clear by Wednesday. On Saturday, I left to go home with all my things boxed up and left in my room. As my father was going to take the boxes on his way past on the Monday, my roommate knew this. When my father came to move my stuff, she saw him and offered her help moving the boxes. I didn't know she'd done this until my father mentioned how my roommate was nice and helped him carry my things. I feel upset, as if I was okay with her touching my things. I'd have let her know. I feel gross that she's touched and seen all my things and didn't give my permission. She could have called me to ask if it was okay to offer my dad help, and I'd have told her no, it made me uncomfortable, but she didn't even ask. I feel like the reason she didn't ask was because she knew I'd say no. For a bit of background, I've always got the sense that she's quite into me and I don't reciprocate at all. So her getting friendly with my dad and carrying my things just adds to this. I texted her and said not to contact me until I was ready, as I was upset, and she said I was an a-hole because she was just helping my dad, nothing about me.
Imagine being so fucking self-conscious or so insecure that you're like, oh my god, why are you touching my stuff? Like,
boxed up stuff. He said it was boxed up.
Yeah, like, she's just trying to help your dad move stuff, and you're like, you know, I had a feeling you've always liked me, and I feel like you're just doing this so you can touch and look at my stuff. That is such a... Tell me he doesn't sound like an incel, please.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like, oh yeah, she's always been into me.
But my question as well is, like, what kind of stuff is there that you don't mind your dad seeing, but you mind if your roommate sees?
Nothing. It's not that. It's not about that. It's the fact that she's touching stuff. His problem is that she's touching stuff.
Yeah.
Like, is that not mental? It's like, oh my god, she's touching my shit.
Oh,
are you tapped in the head?
The story is actually really vexing.
Are you tapped?
I just don't get it.
Are you tapped in the head? You're dumbass.
Oh, if anything, imagine someone's trying to help your parent for something.
It's like, you should have called me and requested my permission to help my father. Thank you. Thank you, that is all.
Come on, you can't even do a nice gesture these days without people being... Like, I know that people are always going to find something to hate, but in this case, it's like, she's helping. Like, helping. It's like helping, like, an old lady with her groceries or something. It's like, how could you do that? That's so disrespectful. You think she can't do it herself?
Nah, that's a sad story.
What are you talking about? Like, come on, do better. Okay, on to the actual last story of today. I feel like we should grace you guys with another story. So here we go. Am I the asshole for telling my friend that they overreacted to hearing my brother say something racist? So yesterday, my family had a BBQ and I invited a work colleague. She and I have been friendly with each other lately and I thought it would be a fun time. So we went to my parents' house. While we were there, some of my parents' neighbors were driving fast around the neighborhood. My brother said, fucking N-words. And my friend was shocked. She's white, by the way, and I'm Hispanic. Well, white Hispanic, but Hispanic nonetheless. She looked at me, then said, excuse me, to my brother. She said that was racist and rude. My brother didn't care and said the word again. Then she turned to me and said she was leaving. She called an Uber and left without even eating or saying bye to anyone. Later that night, I texted her and said she overreacted and that it was a word and he wasn't calling anyone that. I said she's acting immature and needs to grow up. I tried texting her again later, but my messages didn't deliver, so I think she blocked me. I work from home today, so I didn't see her, but I did get a call from another coworker asking me what happened because apparently this bitch told others that me and my family are racist. Now I'm scared she will get me fired and my brother who works in the same industry field. Was I the asshole for telling her she overreacted?
They were like, these goddamn that's what
my God.
Can you imagine? Not only did he say it, but he doubled down. He was like, yeah, I said it. These dirty damn what? Imagine see life, and then they're like, what's wrong with it? Like, you are definitely racist because you didn't see anything wrong with it.
Oh, 100%.
Like
the fact that first of all she was trying to be like I'm dark, like I'm like a dark Hispanic, trying to almost justify it.
Yeah.
And then the fact that she didn't say the word in the text, she knows there's something wrong with it because she's not willing to say it.
Yeah, and you know the brother said the hard R.
Oh, 100%.
You know it's the hard R. You know it wasn't
100%.
like, you know it wasn't like as, it was It was it was You know it was hard, and you know there was hate from his soul as he said it.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh my days, fam. Like, that is mad. That is actually mad. Can you imagine? Like, the fact that kills me the most is that he doubled down. He said it again.
Yeah.
And then this is like, why would she be mad? Like, we just casually called him that all the time anyway.
Do you see the way she's shaking in her boots because she knows her job is on the line?
Yeah.
If it wasn't as bad as you're saying it isn't, then you wouldn't be shaking in your boots.
If it wasn't that deep, your job would still be secure.
Do you know what I mean?
But you're unemployed right now. I bet you're unemployed right now. You got cancelled.
Oh yeah.
Fuck you.
As she should
Fuck
though.
you.
But like, you know, like let's talk about it. Like, I think, you know, a lot of the times it's white people that should be calling out each other because it's not like they wouldn't have said that if a black person was in the room.
Yeah.
Do you know?
They've been like,
So it's like, oh, she'll be fine with this. She's white. But it's like,
wouldn't even invited the black
bro,
person, to be honest.
they probably wouldn't have. No, they probably
BBQ.
wouldn't have.
Yeah.
So I think it's just so important calling out stuff when you see it.
Nah, that's mad.
Like, come on.
Nah, that's a W coworker right there.
100%.
Calling that bullshit out and not letting it slide. Holy shit. Like, I know some people would be like, are gonna be like, oh, but why does she have to tell other coworkers? No, fuck you.
Bro.
That person's a piece of shit.
Everyone deserves to know.
Expose that motherfucker.
But did you see that the coworker called her a bitch? So she's agreeing with all of this?
Like, it's like,
I'm a little bit confused.
No.
Do you have coworkers in the same boat?
You got some racist ass people in your company.
I love how this whole episode kind of just wrapped up with like a whole Texas accent again.
Yeah. Goddamn. Those goddamn always going around with their trucks.
That was better than it started, though.
Yeah, no, yeah. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed those stories.
Yeah.
Hope they were controversial and tasty for your head tops, you know? And so...
for their what?
For their head tops, you know?
Oh.
That's the Toronto thing.
I'm
doing all the accents now.
Mixing and matching. So they're going to come for you. They're going to come for you.
Come for me. I don't care.
They're like, how are you going to be...
It's just...
Speaking with an accent.
Just listen, it's just engagement. Like, you can be mad. You're just giving us engagement. I'm
be
not
mad.
gonna lie. Be mad in the
be
comments.
Mad.
Like, I'll tell you half the time I don't read any of your comments, so I don't really give a shit.
Unless, well, no, I do.
She does. I don't really.
But that's because there's some nice ones.
Oh yeah, the nice ones are nice, and I know they will tell me them. The rest of you, I don't give a fuck.
Because like it's getting filtered to her. Like I don't really care.
You're shouting in an echo chamber to yourselves.
No, but obviously, guys, you know, thank you for the support if you do support.
Yeah.
And you know really what? If you hate, thanks for the hate. I appreciate it too.
Yeah, no, honestly.
It is what it is.
It means a lot to us, and we do this just because we enjoy it and not because of anything else. Like, we literally don't get paid for this.
I wish.
We literally don't get paid for this. Like, we just do it.
Do you know what? The thing is, I can't see us get paid for this for time.
Yeah, and I don't care. Because
But if you're a brand and wants to work with us, as you know, like, we're open to opportunities. You know what I mean? TAE Time Podcast @gmail.com. Till next time.
Peace.